to go?
Good to go.
Okay, thank you everyone for bearing with us. We were having some sound quality issues. So welcome to the December 11th, 2023 meeting of the Carver School Committee. If everyone could please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. It's over there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
My brain just totally stopped working for a second there. I'm having more and more senior moments lately. I don't know what it is. Okay, so... Okay, so welcome again, everyone. We are going to take some items on the agenda out of order, just so everyone is aware, and we're going to start with the Carver football team recognition.
Yes. So at this time, I'd like to welcome up team captains, Tyler Lennox, Robbie Peterson, James Callahan, Jamison Helms, Jack Balzerini, and Coach Shafane.
Welcome. We're all glad to have you with us this evening, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
This evening, we are excited to recognize the Carver Middle High School football team and cheerleaders for their outstanding season and for their run to the Super Bowl. When I say we, I think I speak for more than just the school committee and more than just myself, but really for the Carver community. What you as players and coaches were able to do on the field really brought our community together. And that was certainly evident at Gillette Stadium. It was a tremendous turnout by the whole Carver community there supporting you. And hopefully you felt that. Hopefully you felt that pride that Carver felt. We all take great pride in what you as players and coaches were able to accomplish. Though really our pride should really pale in comparison to the pride you should have in yourselves for what you've been able to do. Pele, I know he plays the other football, but Pele said, "Success is not an accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love for what you're doing." Your season was no accident. It was exactly what Pele said. It was hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and a love for football. The team started out winning its first 11 games, including a 42-39 come from behind overtime win at home against Cohasset, a team that had Carver not beaten in, I believe, 16 years. They had another great victory over Mashpee to clinch the South Shore League Tobin Championship. Again, a team Carver had not defeated in 17 years. The team had 3 playoff wins, including defeating Kip Academy 49-27 at home to earn a berth into the Final Four, and also a victory over Hoosick Valley, which set the stage for the Super Bowl at Gillette. The list of awards and accomplishments by individual members of the team and the records established by both individuals and the team itself represent how dominant you really were this past season. So I think it's important to take a moment to read and recognize some of those individual accomplishments and team accomplishments. This one blows my mind. So I'm gonna say list a lot of things about people who are named Player of the Week. I don't know if I've ever seen any team have so many Player of the Week nominations by area newspapers. So the following players were named Patriot Ledger Player of the Week at least once: Tyler Lennox, Robbie Peterson, Derek Lopes, Jamison Helms, Nathan Dorado, Jack Balzerini, Cameron LaRanger, Jack Reed, Tyler Swain, James Callahan, Jake Highland. The following players were named Boston Herald Player of the Week: Robbie Peterson 1 time, Nathan Helms 1 time, Jamison Helms 1 time, Tyler Lennox 6 times. The following players were named Boston Globe Player of the Week, which usually it's an honor if you have one player sometime during a season be named as the Boston Globe Player of the Week. Jamison Helms 1 time, Jack Balzerini 1 time, Robbie Peterson 1 time, Tyler Lennox 7 times. The following players were named South Shore League All-Stars: Tyler Lennox, Robbie Peterson, Jamison Helms, Derek Lopes, James Callahan, Nathan Dorado, and Tyler Swain. And Tyler Lennox was named as the league MVP of the South Shore League. The following players received Patriot Ledger All-Scholastic nominations. First team, Tyler Lennox and Robbie Peterson. Second team, Jamison Helms and Derek Lopes. Honorable mention, James Callahan. And finally, Tyler Lennox was also named as a Boston Herald All-Scholastic. Boston Globe, I don't believe, has put theirs out yet, but my guess is we'll have 1 or 2 of our players also named as Boston Globe All-Scholastics. That's a crazy list of accomplishments and recognitions of our individual players throughout the season. Records. We established several records this year as a team in football, both as players and as a team. So we'll start with individual records first. Nathan Dorado set the school record both for a single season and for a career in extra points. Robbie Peterson set both the single season and career records in Carver for receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, receptions, and points scored. Tyler Lennox set the single season and career standing records for passing yards, passing touchdowns, total yards, total TDs, completed passes, and pass attempts. So congratulations to those players who set individual records. And finally, as a team, they established several school records. Most wins with 11. Most points scored in a season, 508. Most total yards in a season, 4,827 total yards. And this one's an impressive one for one season. Defensive interceptions, 21 in a 12-game season, 13-game season. That's pretty impressive. So, as I said, I do think that so many individual accomplishments came together to have a team. And being a successful team is really about dedication, working hard, and students don't achieve that level of success without supporting each other. So I think the team came together in a great way, supported each other, and that in turn led the community to support them and really set a mark for us here in Carver. So to the football players, cheerleaders, the coaches, I can't thank you enough for all you have done. So I'd like to give Coach Fain an opportunity to say a few words if you'd like, and then just so you know how we're going to proceed, I am going to ask each member of the cheerleading squad and the football team to stand when I call their name, just to stand to be recognized, and then we're going to invite the entire team up to sign over in the corner over there. We have the Final Four banner. This is off script, you know, so sometimes that's what happens. See, let me talk too much, I just start talking. So we have the Final Four banner. So the banner they received, you can see up in the picture. So this is the banner they received on the field for reaching the Final Four. We're going to ask each player to come up and sign the banner, and then the banner will be prominently displayed at the school with everybody's signature. So Coach, I don't know if you'd like to say a few words.
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you all for having us. It's a pretty cool thing to have happen. As Mr. Neef said about this Pele quote, it kind of took the words right out of my mouth, is that the staff and the team worked incredibly hard this year as one. The players took it upon themselves in the offseason to get into the best shape as possible for what we call the 13-game season going in, because our goal from day one was to play at Gillette. We had 3 goals. The first day, I say this all the time, these guys. Our first goal was to go undefeated in September. Our second goal was to win the South Shore League, and our third goal was to get to Gillette. And our fourth goal, which actually also happened, was to have 100% academic eligibility for the season, which was fantastic for us, that we had 0 players fail off the team when grades came out after first term. So that was a huge, successful 4 goals for our season. Staff and team alike did amazing all year. Parents putting together our team dinners that built that cohesiveness and the chemistry with the team. It was just one big family, and without everyone working together the way it happened, this doesn't happen. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Coach. So as I said, we'd like to at least say everybody's name on the team, recognize them, and have them stand to be recognized. There is, the reality of scheduling sometimes is very difficult. There's a track meet tonight, so I'm sure we're missing players to the track meet or for different things. Obviously, everybody who's not here this evening, they'll be given the opportunity to sign the banner over the next couple days. We'll make sure that every player's name is on the banner before our goal is to laminate it and display it within the building. So I'd actually like to start just to recognize quickly the cheerleaders and for all their support for the football team during the season. Their coaches were Mackenzie Arago and Kendall Arago. And then the members of the team, the members of the squad. So if you could stand as I name you, that'd be great. Adriana McTurnan, Miley Balby, Summer Niven, Mackenzie Kennedy, Mallory Ellis, Gianna Chandler, Taryn Barkowski, Elena Thomas, Sophie DeCoste, Maggie Turner, Brooke Slavin, and Jessica Baldwin, our cheerleaders. And with the football team, we'll start with our youngest students going up to our seniors. 8th graders, Alexander Bizel, Ryan Grimes, and Joey Primo. Our 9th graders, Ryan Bump, Michael Clark, Emmanuel Ferrier, Owen Holmes, Jacob Highland, Matt Lennox, Giovanni Pina Miranda, and Brady Shafane. 10th graders, Michael Brennan, Patrick Crump, Hunter Dalton, Colin Eakins Ryan, Caden Freitas, Nathan Helms, Nolan Keneally, Cameron LaRanger, Tyler Terpstra, Ryan Wall, and Tegan Zacharusa. Our 11th graders, Austin Aducci, Jack Balzerini, William Bellevue, Jake Drum, Matt Durling, Jacob Gilbert, Darian King, Charles Lincoln, Jack Reed, and Jesse Stone. And before we get to our seniors, I skipped over the coaches. How can we forget the coaches? Coach Ben Shafane, Michael Pont, who's I see up in the back, Richard Paling, Ray Tolliver, Stephen Kane, Michael Grant, Raven Jones. Thank you to our coaches. And we'll leave our seniors for last. Cam Elaine, Pat Ataya, James Callahan, Nate Dorado, Jonathan Freitas, Brandon Gainey, Joshua Grimes, Jamison Helms, Dylan Herney, Kyle Kell, Tyler Lennox, Derek Lopes, Robbie Peterson, Brian Quimby, Tyler Swain, and Sean Williams. And the members of our football team. At this time, in no particular order, Coach, you can organize it if you want. We invite the members of the team to go up and sign the banner. There's markers up there. They can head on over.
Seniors.
Seniors.
Tennis and dinner.
Coach is inviting the cheerleaders up to sign the banner.
Yeah, I saw everyone. You say that too Yeah, I know. Some shit wrong. Probably does. I don't care. Want to read it? He's like, I know Jeff. And he's like, she's taking a position right now.
You don't have to take it.
Dude, yeah. Pirates not hard.
I feel like it's like
It's the simplest thing ever.
it's like everyone that wants.
Not gonna work. Not gonna work. Not gonna work. Dude, we haven't scored off this race. It's the worst play. Dude, we're gonna call this shit.
Because other kids have complained too much. It's hard to meet that requirement.
Dude, I hate that. The full passion is
So exciting.
yeah, it was like a child. So, dude, I went today. I was talking about it.
Thankfully, we don't have too much on our agenda. It should be quick. It's the same person. For 10th grade.
Dude, you're so
I think it's the same. I just blinded it.
I did it like the freshman now. He's got to make it. Be like,
I'm sitting in softball. Airsoft is like they're juniors now. That's amazing.
I guess. I actually actually I shot so much tonight, like thinking about shooting basketball this week. Like I can't. So I didn't we didn't even hit some.
It's so exciting.
It just
This just come home.
All right, congratulations again to our football team. If we could have one last round of applause, that would be great. And then the item that I'm recommending that we take out of order is our Captain's Council. So one of our usual presentations is we have different groups of captains from our sports teams come in and give an update on the previous season or the upcoming season. It made sense tonight to have the football captains do our Captain's Council presentation. And since they're already up here, we figured we'll go to that item in the agenda if that's okay. So our Captain's Council, our football captains, Tyler Lennox, Robbie Peterson, James Callahan, and Jamison Helms.
So over the past 2 weeks, winter sports have begun. Wrestling had their first quad match this past Saturday and did very well. Boys and girls basketball both have had scrimmages, and they kick off their regular seasons Friday versus Cohasset. Indoor track starts tonight with the meet at the Reggie Lewis Center versus Abington, and gymnastics also starts Friday versus Marshfield. Our boys and girls co-op hockey programs also begin their seasons this week as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Do you have anything else to add, or anything else? Any of you? No? Thank you for being here. Again, congratulations. You should all be very proud of yourselves because the entire community is so very proud of you. So thank you for all of your efforts and your hard work. I know it isn't easy. We all know it isn't easy to balance playing a sport with academics and with every other thing you need to do, work a job or do homework or those types of things. So we appreciate your commitment to one another and playing together as a team. So we're just all very proud of you. So thank you for being here tonight so we could recognize you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so you do MCAS, right?
If they're going to leave, then we'll let them leave.
Is Jack going to stay?
Yeah.
You want to say, will they stay? They know to stay?
I don't think so.
No.
So, we do have another set of recognitions this evening. So as a district, we've decided to recognize students who have received exceeding expectations in one or more of their MCAS exams. We've done this over the last 3 meetings, and students were selected to come to the meetings alphabetically. To our students, your dedication to your academic excellence is truly commendable. And we want to express our appreciation for your hard work and commitment. Your superior performance on the MCAS is reflective of your diligence and your determination. We all take great pride in having students like you who set high expectations for themselves, high standards for themselves, and through your work, you inspire others to achieve and strive for excellence. So we'd like to bring up each member or each student who has got an exceeding expectations. It's in alphabetical order, so it's not by grade or by exam. And then we invite everybody up. We have a certificate for everybody, and then we'd like to do a picture with the school committee. So if we can have, when the students come forward, if you could come forward and remain forward, if that works. And unfortunately, just because I'm gonna go up there and grab a mic just so I can. But I know I need to be heard. Figures I picked the one that's. Try that again. Gregory Mead for exceeding expectations in mathematics. Right over here. Elliot Mueller for exceeding expectations in English. Corbin Perry for exceeding expectations in mathematics. Luke Porter for exceeding expectations in English. Jack Reed for exceeding expectations in English and in math. And Jack also had a perfect score on the Math MCAS exam. He was our only Jack, it was the only perfect score in the district. So congratulations, this is an outstanding accomplishment. David Savastato for a score of exceeding expectations in science. Sophia Schneider for a score of exceeding expectations in English. Trey Seo for exceeding expectations in math. Darren Spence for exceeding expectations in English. Sarah Stairs for exceeding expectations in English. Jude Sullivan for exceeding expectations in English. Lucas Sullivan for exceeding expectations in math and science. Christopher Tormey for exceeding expectations in math. And Graham Wood for exceeding expectations in math. So congratulations to all of our students. And if there's members of the school committee want to come up, they will do a picture. Do you want to do a picture? I guess we're in front here. Come on, we'll do a picture all together. Yeah, we'll see if we can all sneak in between these tables. Got school committee members in there. We can mingle, school committee members and students. Parents. Make sure parents can certainly come up and take pictures.
One more. Praise for your parents.
Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for coming out to be recognized. Keep up the great work. Next, that's going to bring us to comments from the EAPC. And I think I see Tom Pinto up the back.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Welcome.
Nothing clears out a room like comments from the EAPC. No, just congratulations to the students who are just there, and also congratulations to the Carver football team and cheerleaders. I heard a lot about it. I did have a few friends whose kids are in the elementary school, and they were quite impressed when the players did their little rally through the school and got all excited. So it was great, great by everybody. I just can't believe we're the year's rolling by. We're 2 weeks from a little time off. It flew by. It just seemed like yesterday we're getting ready to start the year in the summertime. I hope we get through these next 2 weeks as quick as we can, and everybody enjoys a little time off. And that's it.
Thanks,
Thank
Tom.
you. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you in person.
Yes.
Okay, so that brings us to comments from the student ambassadors.
Yes, we're really pleased to welcome Riley Ryan and Gregory Mead, who are going to do our comments from the student ambassadors.
You're welcome. We're so happy to have you with us.
When you start right now, you're good. And why don't we pull this? There you go.
Hi, I'm Gregory Mead. I'm Riley Ryan. We are the student ambassadors from Carver Elementary School, and we want to share some of the great activities happening at our school.
This year, we had a Veterans Day assembly to honor all the veterans who have served our country.
This assembly had performance from band and chorus.
Many veterans who are related to Carver Elementary School students came and spoke to each classroom about their experiences.
Thank you, veterans.
We had a week of spirit days, including Color Battle, Crazy Hair Day, Opposite Day, and Mismatch Day.
Some students dressed like teachers, and teachers dressed like students.
I wore khaki pants and professional shirt to look like a businessman on Opposite Day.
In order to participate in Spirit Week, students brought in canned goods to benefit Shane Gives Thanks Food Pantry.
The project areas were overflowing with all kinds of food cans like green beans and tomato soup. I'm sure families appreciated all of the donations. The turkey trot was on the running path during the special before Thanksgiving. The turkey trot was cold, but not too cold.
It was still comfortable.
I could trot in a hoodie for the whole time.
It wasn't like huffing and puffing cold. The turkey trot was fun. All the specialist teachers were cheering.
The kids went full sprinting. What I remember from when I had the kindergarten Thanksgiving feast was eating in the cafeteria with top hats on.
They came in wearing their pilgrims and turkey hats and ate popcorn, cranberry sauce, and drank apple juice.
They made their own placemats to eat their feast on.
The JFK Museum was fun to go to. 5th grade chorus sang in a huge room with giant windows where you could see Boston in the distance.
Here are some things we learned.
John F. Kennedy was in the Navy in World War II and also was elected for president.
There were 9 children in his family. He wanted equal rights for people.
Everybody wanted the clothes that his wife wore because they were so fashionable.
We had a great time.
I was at the 'Twas Night concert because I was filming for Miss Kent. It was 1st grade and they wore their pajamas. The 1st grade sang lots of songs like Change Sings, Jingle Bells, and moved to the song from Nutcracker, and many more.
All of the songs the 1st graders sang were from books. There was a literacy connection.
Thanks to Miss Cramp and the 5th graders who helped lead the assembly.
We had a Super Bowl parade at our school. Kids made signs and cheered for the Carver football players and cheerleaders.
We hyped them up before their big Super Bowl in Gillette Stadium. It was amazing that the Carver football team made it so far.
Now that we've gone to the Super Bowl, we're just going to have to go again next year.
Winter Wonderland was hosted by the PTO and held behind the school. Santa and Mrs. Claus arrived in a fire engine.
There was cocoa, a fire pit for s'mores, crafts, and a small store to buy gifts. Chorus members sang a lot of songs.
It was festive, fun times.
Have a great evening.
And remember, above all, be kind.
Good job. Thank you so much for being here. That was excellent.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so that brings us to comments from the general public. So if there's anyone here in the audience that would like to speak, if you could please come forward to the table to be recognized. We have some movement, but it's just people leaving. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming. Okay, so seeing no movement towards the microphone for comments, we will move on to the approval of minutes for the November 13th, 2023 open session of the Carver School Committee.
I move that we approve the minutes for the November 13th, 2023 open session.
A second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone. So that brings us to communications and the Reed's annual report.
Yeah, so I just want to make you aware that every year Reed's does a report based on their previous fiscal year. So you have a copy of the annual report in your background. It's just kind of it's a pretty in-depth overlook of the services and what's happening at Reed's Collaborative. And just want to make the committee aware that that is available for their review.
Great, thank you. So that takes us to reports from the superintendent and personnel updates.
So since our last meeting, we have had some personnel movement. We have new hires, Stacy Lodge in food services at the middle high school. Lauren Savoy is a long-term substitute adjustment counselor at the elementary school. Melinda Lane is a long-term substitute English teacher at the middle high school, which is actually not going to begin until March of 2024 for a maternity leave, but we've already signed Melinda up. And Stephen Gillette is a 7D bus driver. We've had a few transfers, so we've had some movement primarily within our custodian and food service workers. Denise Manning, ESP, is going to take on special ed as she's going to take on a long-term substitute teaching position in grade 2 at the elementary school. Derek Howard, custodian third shift at the elementary school, is moving to custodian third shift at the middle high school. Ashley Pendleton, ESP for kindergarten, is going to move to ESP special ed, long-term sub. Sarah Baker is going to move from food services to actually being a CDL bus driver. And then we've had a couple of resignations. Connor McKinnon is an ESP in special education at the middle high school, and Crystal Ordonez as a CDL bus driver.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to the next agenda item, which is bonus block.
So this year, the elementary school has implemented what they're calling the bonus block. It's an additional planning period for teachers at the beginning of the day that is facilitated by the math and reading coaches. Once every 7 days, a grade level team has a bonus block. While the teachers are on bonus block, the students have an opportunity to attend an additional allied art. The bonus block lasts about 30 minutes, and we're excited to have Principal Ruben Maestas, math coach Jen Kelly, and reading coach Kate Moore tell us a little about what happens during bonus block. Just give me a second to get the presentation.
Welcome.
Good evening, thank you. It's a hard act to follow after all those awards for the football team. So amazing, such a good job.
and everything else that went before us. All right. So this is our first year of having bonus block, and you're going to learn a little bit more about what it is, how it works, and sort of how it came to be. So over the last actually few years, we've really been looking for a way to find more time within the school day for our teachers, who we consider and we call high-performing teams, to meet together for the purpose of really evaluating data, looking at student needs, and just having this ongoing, continuous cycle of discussion. So we came up with some time every day in the morning, starting right at 8:20. So school starts for the students at 8:15. So from 8:20 to 8:50, once every 7 days, grade level teachers meet for bonus block. So when I said to you it's an opportunity, we see it as an opportunity for teachers to work together as a high-performing team, and it's also an opportunity for students to attend bonus block. So I'll start with the first slide, and then we'll talk about the teachers, and then we'll get to the students. So the PLC, so the Professional Learning Community, is a team of educators that work together to foster a shared understanding, build on their sense of identity. So these are grade level teams that are meeting together. They practice continuous learning. They're learning and working together. This is also an opportunity for the teachers to have two-way feedback. So it's another way to have professional development. There's mutual cooperation that takes place, collective responsibility, support for each other, and a strong sense of belonging. I just hear this high-pitched sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you
I'm
want to
sorry,
try the mic,
it was
maybe?
just really hurting my ear.
It's not just you.
Say thank you.
Try again, try.
Testing, testing. It sounds good now. Okay.
Try a different mic?
Sure.
Yeah, good one. Kind of weird.
I hope you can hear the student ambassadors on the video. Yeah. Okay.
How's this? Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me now? Yeah, okay, so, I'm sorry about that. All right, so Jen's gonna go next, right? Sure.
So we created a vision collectively through our administrative team and our curriculum team to come up with the vision of what we saw for staff and what we see for students. So on the staff side, our goal was to just build the capacity of our teachers through Kate and I working with them on a variety of topics, which we'll get to in a few slides, to really focus on how we can provide the teachers with professional development and help them to make sure that they are feeling supported in the classroom and that they're making progress with their students, and we're providing them with support that they need to move kids forward so we can track student progress and student achievement. So while that's the vision for our staff, the vision for the students was to get an additional kind of specialist time where they could develop some social and emotional competence in different areas and get some extra skill practice and maybe something that they're not used to doing every single day, like, you know, music, phys ed, and so forth.
So the bonus block teachers are our specialists. So when the children get in, let's say, for example, you're a third grade student, you get in to school, you're finishing up breakfast, getting to your locker, you get to your classroom, and right at 8:20, you're lining up and you're going to bonus block if you're a student. And if you're a teacher, you're dropping the children off and you're going right to the bonus block meeting with Jen and Kate. So children go in one direction, teachers go in the other direction. And when the children are in bonus block, as I mentioned earlier, their teachers are the specialists. So we'll continue to talk about the teachers, and then when we get to the end, we'll actually show you some visuals of the students working and what it looks like in action for them.
So we have a 7-day cycle with bonus block. So we're essentially meeting with teachers every 7 days, which is wonderful because we can continue the conversation. So if we usually have a jam-packed schedule, if we don't get to things or we want to continue to analyze data or look at MCAS, student responses, for example, we can continue that. And we know that we'll see the teachers in 7 days. So we're meeting with teachers for 6 days, and then there's a break so that we can plan and the specialists can plan, and then the whole cycle starts over again. And as Ruby said, we have about 30 minutes. People have been excellent on showing up on time. Sometimes we go over a little bit just because discussion is really rich, but it's been really successful.
So at the beginning of the year, we set the stage by going over the norms and kind of what the responsibilities were for everyone involved. Administration is there to support us. Kate and I usually lead it in 3rd through 5th grade because there's the teaming model. I will take the math teachers, Kate will take the ELA teachers, and then in K to 2, it depends, but we tend to kind of rotate. 1 week we do math, the next week, or the next cycle, we will do ELA. It kind of just depends on what's happening with the students and the teachers at that time. And then we also talked about the roles and responsibilities for the specialists, and the SPED teachers also attend the meetings, and sometimes we have the reading specialists attend as well if it's needed.
So bonus block allows us not just to meet with the teachers and talk about curriculum and data and all of that. Ideally, we then, and what we've been able to do is then schedule coaching so that Jen and I can get into the classrooms. So we have these discussions at bonus block and then say, we'd like to come in and show you how to do X, Y, and Z, or let's partner with about whatever the topic may be. So it also leads to our coaching where we have additional meetings with teachers. We're able to gather materials for them. So while we have this time for grade level, it then leads into discussions with individual teachers or teams of teachers sometimes. So it's kind of a great segue into coaching also.
So this year you can see that we've already talked about a lot of topics and it's only the beginning or middle of December. We've taken time to analyze our MCAS results. Not only have we looked at the scores of our students, but we've also looked at some of the released items, which has led to some of the items on our MCAS action plan. So we're diving in deeper for those sorts of things. We've looked at last year's spring NWEA results and this year's fall NWEA results, and we'll do that again in January, February when we give that assessment again. We've also looked at the universal screener for number sense, and that's in K1 and 2, K and 1. We look at curriculum unit assessments for bridges and units of study. We also do the NWEA fluency assessment results. So lots of data in the first few bullets there. But then from that data, then we kind of look at what's happening in the classroom. Like what's happening, what's going on at a certain period or a certain unit. How can we make shifts to our instruction? What can we do better? What isn't working? What is working? And can we focus on the positives? It gives teachers the opportunity to collaborate on different instructional strategies that are happening in the classroom. So what's working for one teacher, someone else could try something else out. We've used the bonus block to also look at our intervention model for reading and math. So we use that as an opportunity to take the data and say, okay, who are the children who are making really great progress? Let's talk about what's working for them, and who are the kids who need some additional practice? We talk about our intervention model and how to support them in that model. And again, it really just depends on the grade level and what the topic is and what's relevant at the time, and we kind of weave it in, and it gives us a really great opportunity to work with the teachers. Can I share? Yeah.
I wanted to add, if you'll just go back to that slide for 1 second, thank you. So, You know, the life of a teacher, when you think about it, they really don't have a lot of time in the school day for, because they're teaching. That's their primary, the core of their work. So you might be wondering, all right, well, you know, maybe why didn't you do this before? But it's really challenging to find time in a school day, and it really takes everyone. It takes a village. So, you know, we started talking about this last year, and we met with the specialists early on, because what we needed to do too is give them time to help them really understand what the purpose was and to plan meaningful opportunities for children. So, you know, you could look at this and say, well, because we've been doing a lot of this at Carver Elementary for a few years, but if you remember, we would do it like once in a term, and we would call it data meeting day, and we'd get subs to come in and rotate through so teachers could meet with the data team. And this is a different way to do it that took some time for us to kind of figure out, but now it's ongoing. So every 7 days as opposed to once every 3 months. So yes, it's been nice to just have that ongoing discussion with the teachers, and it feels just, right now it's feeling more fluid. And sure, it did take us a little bit of time to iron out, so it takes a village. The specialists, the support staff, everyone's helping to get kids where they need to be so that the teachers can meet and really focus. So now this gets us to the next slide, which is sort of a visual of what the children are doing. So the 5 core competencies that we're working with our specialist teachers, we've talked about those at some of our previous school committee meetings. So the CASEL or the CASEL competencies are things like self-regulation, self-management, relationship skills, self-awareness, just all, like, you know, interpersonal and being aware and getting along with others. And so the way that the specialists are doing this is through games, through interactive activities, through cross-curricular activities. So the picture with the checkerboard here, these are 3rd graders in book collection with Mr. Thompson. Many of them didn't know how to play chess at the beginning of the year. They know how to play chess, so they're challenging each other. And this photo was about a week and a half ago. And he started with teaching them to play chess, first with a computer game, and with each other and with him, and now they're playing with each other. Then this picture on the left, this is in tech. They're using some tech tools to create, oh gosh, now I don't know what they're called. They're using iBots to create some things, and that's a class in Mrs. Kent's room. And if we go to another slide, here again, we see just kids thinking, strategizing, smiling, talking, interacting, all being aware of each other's surroundings. So all of those things that we talked about in the CASEL competencies, which is so important for our children to be doing. So, you know, we don't want them to be arguing, and you know, or if they are, we want them to work through it. So here's our children. This is some cup stacking activities with the boys on the left, and just having more of an opportunity to play together, or just even to build gross fine motor skills. And then the picture on the other side is Miss Cramp. The kids, she gives them tasks to do, and here they're role playing. And so that was a character day. They were working on being a character. So it was a monster, I believe. So they're walking around like monsters. And
I get the monster vibe.
Yes, they got the monster drag. And then Mr. Allaire is doing a full group activity with the parachute. Actually, this is a shark game. So there's 2 or 3 kids under there that are sharks. Yeah. So we've had some teachers get under there and play with them to the shark game. So art room, you see children expanding their opportunity to be more creative with art and design, and enjoying it. And this was just a visual from the second floor that I thought was kind of cool. The second floor looking down to the first grade project area where kids are at a table cup stacking. And then just more first graders on the right playing checkers. So you saw the other third graders playing chess, and these ones are playing checkers.
I think that's the last one.
Great, so any questions?
I actually do.
Sure.
So are the kids doing the bonus block every day or just on that 7th rotation day?
Once every 7 days.
Okay.
So yes, they love it. They'd love to do it every day.
Yeah.
But it's once every 7 days. Yeah. Great question, because it can be kind of confusing to understand how it works.
And it's probably like predetermined where they're going to go to do this?
Yes, we laid out a full schedule. We put it together in the summer, and it rotates. We don't have bonus block on half days because it would just crunch the schedule too much, and it makes it a little bit more challenging because the kids are rushed to begin with on half days, so we said let's just not do it on a half day.
I think just building in that collaboration time for teachers is just so vital.
Yeah.
And it was really a creative way to do that while also giving the students some more exposure to the Allied Arts. And then having that focus in the Allied Arts be on the CASEL competencies, I think is really well done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. Thank you very much for presenting it. Very creative.
Lots of hard work put into it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a valiant team effort to bring it to light. I would love to bring it to my employer and pitch it and say, you know what, can we have 20 minutes of bonus block every day? So we can do some team building activities, right, and discuss.
There you go.
I think it's wonderful. So thank you very much for your creativity and your thoughtfulness for our students and for coming to present. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Regina and Kate.
Thank you.
Very exciting, great stuff. Oh, that brings us to a culinary project update.
So we just want to highlight some project milestones that have happened so far. So on September 27th, Page Building Construction was awarded the project. And we went through a process of working with them, and by November 7th, all of their construction permits were issued by the town. And on November 13th, they mobilized on site. And on November 21st, they began demolition. So demolition has begun. I have some slides with some pictures on the next slide. And during this time period, while we've been working with them, what have we been focusing on? Establishing communication protocols in terms of how we're going to communicate with the architect and the builder and the construction company and the administration. Establishing some site logistics in terms of all those things like where are they going to park and how are they going to enter the building and how are they going to interact with the staff. And when obviously that becomes a huge piece in terms of establishing safety protocols for student, staff, and construction workers. So I want to spend a little time on that concept tonight, just because, so the community is aware. Obviously, that's something that we take very seriously. This is a construction project that's happening during the school day while school is in session. So what we have done is we've established a specific entrance that the construction company can use. It is a card-keyed access that the foreman has the card key, so he has access, and his card key is enabled from 6 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. And it's actually, and then what we've done is we've isolated that portion of the building so that there's no reason for students to go down there. Now, actually, it works out well for the culinary classroom because where it's located, there's literally a door right there, and then they can go into the classroom space. So in terms of the construction workers have no reason to be in the building, so we have done porta potties outside. We said we weren't, we didn't want to give them any reason to go anywhere in the building besides in that door and into the culinary classroom. Obviously everyone who works on the project has to pass all of the Corey checks and all the criminal background checks that we would do for anybody who's coming on site. And what we've done is that each employee who's been vetted through that process, or each construction worker who's been vetted through that process, receives a a sticker that has the town seal on it, and says Town of Carver, and they have to put that on their hard hat. So the expectation is that they have a hard hat, and they have the hard hat with the seal on at all times when they're in the building. And really, they've done an outstanding job of that. Page Construction has been great. When we met with their foreman and the leadership from Page Construction, they were actually also strongly advocated. They said it's in our best interest to have the construction workers have zero contact with the students, just because that's just a good way to approach it. If there's no reason for them to have any contact with students, that's what we should all do. And so they've been a strong advocate for that. So during this interim process where we were moving from the award to actual demolition beginning, we were establishing all these protocols and putting all those things into place. We have relocated the culinary classroom space, which it's really not a culinary classroom space. They are working in the upper library right now. That's where the classroom's meeting. But our food service director, Teresa Verrazano, has been giving them access to the kitchen. And I think you may have seen it when you came in this evening. One of the projects they've been working on is the gingerbread house that's in the foyer. So that is something that Chef and Teresa have really collaborated on. And we talked about that at the last meeting. I think it was a great way to have the students work productively, the culinary students, and they were excited about the project, and it looks great. And we have begun the procurement of kitchen equipment. We're going to talk about that a little bit because that's caused us some holdups and some problems in the timeline. Not a lot of slides, but I just wanted to show that the room is totally demolished. It is gone. So everything is out of there, and I don't think people realize that in terms of the sinks and the materials that we were putting in, the products we were putting into the culinary classroom, we had to really redo the plumbing. So the floor has been totally cut and trenched. So you can see that the slab has been removed in places and trenched in other places. And the picture all the way over on the left is the new plumbing, which is almost done actually. So the underground plumbing is almost all done. And the next step they're going to be taking is to basically redo the floor. So they'll be covering up that plumbing and laying the new foundation, laying the new floor in the room. And it is very interesting to go in there. Like I said, the room is laid bare. There's nothing there except for that dirt and those trenches. And then the picture all the way up on the right is what we did do is there were some materials, there was some equipment that was going to be reusable, and so we working with the chef and with the architect, we picked selected pieces. In essence, those pieces have been moved into the classroom side. So that's just a picture of Chef's classroom space with the things that we've brought over that we're going to keep and then go back into the space once it's done. So the biggest issue we've come up with is the current timeline has established substantial completion as May 22nd with a final completion of June 6th, which is much later than we anticipated. The reason why is really procurement and delivery timelines are the holdup. And we're working with the construction company, with the architect. Basically what they're saying to us at this time is, we were given estimates that lead time was going to be 8 to 12 weeks to procure these items. And they said the reality is then sometimes you get those time frames with that. The company tells you that, we can get that to you in 8 to 12 weeks until you order it. And then when you actually order it, they're like, well, maybe 16 weeks. And so, but we believe we're going to try to work with Page Construction to improve the timelines, because the original goal was to have the project done in 90 days from the time that they began. And there actually is a incentive for them to do that within the contract. So Ron, if I put Ron on the spot,
I would just say there's an incentive in the contract.
There's an incentive in the contract for them to meet the timeline. So I think they're going to be interested in improving this timeline, because that was a little bit of a throw for us, because we were expecting to hopefully be in the space by February. Right. And there's a big difference between being in the space at the end of February than there is being in the space really at the end of the school year. Yeah. More information to come. We've established bi-weekly project meetings. which will happen from now until the meeting, until it's completed. We're hoping to have some improvement on the timeline. Like I said, they're working on it, and either we're going to have a special meeting this week, or we have a regularly scheduled bi-weekly meeting next Tuesday, and we're hoping to hear a rosier outlook in terms of our ability to procure some of these materials and to shorten that timeline down. In your background and linked in the agenda, I have the construction timeline. If you actually wanted to look at it and go through, they have their estimated dates of when they're going to do everything in the project. So that's certainly, I didn't think, certainly a document you could go through. And then our intention is, even if it's a 2 or 3 minute update at each meeting, we'll give you an update on the project as we go along going forward. So I don't know, Ron, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, or if we have any questions.
The only thing I'd just add would be that we've got a meeting coming up in about a week where we'll reconvene with the construction company along with the designers, and our designers have some colleagues in the field that can bring in hopefully some different perspectives on alternative vendors to try to find us better lead time. So that's our priority right now. The next week or so we'll have more information.
And really, ultimately, the timeline, the only other piece I'll add is that the procurement is really the issue. So actually, Paige, from our perspective, so far the project has moved along pretty rapidly. So once they got in there in demolition, they've been working in there every day. There's been no off days. As you can see, they've moved quickly and removed everything out of the building. Had to remove the concrete slab, did all the new plumbing. I mean, so they've been moving along. It's just going to be, the holdup is going to be, can we find a way to source the items that we're putting into the kitchen?
Okay.
So that, and more information to come in our next meeting. And hopefully we'll have a better projection or a timeline that's a little quicker.
Great.
When we bring our next update.
Great. Thank you very much for the update. I think we're all very excited about this project and appreciate you giving us regular updates. That way we can stay informed and members of the community can stay informed as well. And I'm assuming that, once you have more information about what the date is going to be, that will be communicated to students who may be having culinary in the last term.
Yeah, so yes, in January, at the end of January, we'll be starting, some classes will be semester courses, so they'll be starting a new semester course. Yeah. And then the 8th graders have the exploratory, so we're really hoping to have, which is a term course. Yeah. So we're really hoping to have, especially the 4th term students who are in the exploratory, be in the new kitchen. So hopefully they'll get an opportunity to be in the new kitchen.
Yeah, and I mean, the collaborations that have been happening have just been truly amazing. We're so fortunate to have a food services department that is so progressive and forward-thinking and bringing in new opportunities and working so collaboratively with our culinary program. It's really wonderful to see.
And obviously, if if the timeline is extended, I'm sure that collaboration will continue, and Chef will come up with creative things, as many creative things as we can, to have students doing some practical application of their culinary skills versus just theoretical.
Absolutely. God bless you. Thank you. All right, well, thank you very much for that update. So that brings us to upcoming events, and there are so many great and wonderful things on the horizon.
Yeah, so we'll take a minute just to highlight a couple of pieces and just show the events for everybody who's watching at home on Area 58. That we want to invite people out to all of these things. There's always great things happening out at our schools. We want to come and celebrate together. So we do have our holiday concerts coming up. So the elementary concert is this Thursday at 6:30, and the middle high school concert is next Tuesday at 7. And so we're excited about those, and certainly we invite the entire community to come and see those performances. The middle high school and the elementary school will both be doing some holiday-themed events as we lead into the break, including a Crusader Day, which will be their 3rd year of doing it, which is that half day before school starts. It's really just a day of fun activities with holiday themes for the entire student body, 6 to 12. the elementary school will be doing the Jingle Jog on the 22nd as well. And we're also going to be doing a holiday pep rally at the middle high school on the 21st, and as well as a middle school Crusader Pride Assembly. And then all of a sudden, it's a new year, and we're into January. And,
It's crazy.
you know, so as we move into January, we do have our Honor Society inductions. So we have the Spanish and French National Honor Society induction on January 10th. And then we have the full National Honor Society induction on January 25th. You know, certainly those are events that members of the school committee are certainly invited to attend. And yeah, so a lot of great stuff coming up, and we hope everybody enjoys all the holiday concerts and events over the next few weeks.
That's wonderful. I hope that as many people that came to Matilda come to attend the rest of the holiday concerts that we have coming up. I mean, the musical was absolutely amazing. And I'm sure the chorus and band concerts will be equally as amazing. I know the students have been working really hard, and it's always nice to see them. So hopefully people come and fill up those seats. Okay, so that is going to bring us to recommendations from the superintendent and financial update / budget transfers with Ron.
Hi there. So you've got your second quarter update here, your memo. Nothing big from Washington. I'm sure you've read by now that Governor Healy signed the supplemental budget, which is wonderful. You've got a link to some more information about that in your background. The important part for Carver Public Schools and all that supplemental talk is the $75 million going statewide to support school districts in covering some special education tuition costs ultimately. So those are going to be in there. We're getting more information from DESE in the coming weeks about the mechanics of accessing those funds and what they'll look like. The only other flag I put on that information is that those are one-time funds. It's going to be a single offset for FY24. They're not going to be recurring funds, which means it helps us this year, which we could desperately use, as could many school districts in the Commonwealth. But our community is still going to be challenged with sort of addressing those costs going forward long-term, starting in FY25. So more to come on that when we start the budget process in the following month. Yeah. Your next page has the Q2 warrants, payroll and expenses, as always, to the penny. Before I hop to transfers, I might just scroll to the bottom, if you don't mind, and share with you 2 grant awards as well. State appropriations, Carver was awarded a grant to support this new IEP model statewide, a little over $16,000 for stipends for employees to learn about the model and do training and those sorts of things. Carver was also awarded a grant to expand sort of human capital marketing, attract diverse candidates. It's part of a statewide effort, just shy of $9,000. Again, one-time award for FY24. And if I can share with you the transfers. So you've got a Q2 view of your entire budget. The large majority of your accounts are in good shape. What we do this time of year, usually the middle of Q2, is we just do an analysis on sort of burn rate for every account, see if any accounts are over or under. So if you go to your transfers, I do have one bit of good news in the financial horizon. So we do see that we've got continued costs in special education tuitions. Those are funds that I shared with you, over the past couple of meetings. Those haven't gone away. But the one bright side of that is because you do have some additional students going out for tuitions, it does mean that some of your special education contract services aren't needed anymore. So we're able to do a transfer to offset some of those costs, $115,100. So that's one benefit, and that helps put a dent in those special education tuitions that remain an outstanding balance for the school department. Other offset transfers are an offset for an unbudgeted full-time nurse. Again, as a reminder, district made a move to bring on a full-time nurse versus a health aide position. The budget was for the health aide, so we took a portion of the funding for the full-time nurse, which is equivalent to the health aide position, and did that transfer. Again, it's still a portion of that's unbudgeted. That's something we'll have to reconcile at the end of our fiscal year, and then going into FY25 as well. That'll continue to be a question mark for us as we think about FY25, sort of long-term financial landscape. Everything else is, is housekeeping. We have $2,595. We had some coils that needed to be replaced on some units at the elementary school. And then some, small costs on postage and materials and those sorts of things. I'll take any questions that you might have on budget and transfers, and just ask that the committee vote our warrants and vote the transfers tonight.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Looking forward, thinking of the second full-time nurse that we have, when we come to those discussions, is there any way that we can get some data based on how many students they've seen, like what the need is, so we can make an educated decision on what we're going to do moving forward with, maintaining that position? Which, I mean, I think everyone would see that, would agree that it's in the best interest of our building, our students, our staff, to maintain that position. But I also just want to, make sure that that the need exists for that.
That is data that the nurses actually track themselves, so we can certainly put together a presentation or ask the nurses to come and present what their visits are. So they log every visit that comes into the nurse office.
Okay. I'm not sure if anyone else had any questions about that, but that's something that I would like to see us continue to do going forward, as long as the need remains. Okay, so that brings us to needing a motion.
I move that we approve the financial report as presented this evening, including acceptance of the warrant, the grants the district has received, and the budget transfers.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, Ron, as always, for that very detailed information. Thank you for everyone that continues to complete grant applications for the district. I know any dollars we can offset with grants are greatly appreciated. So I'm not sure if it was Meredith or who was part of that, or Ron, but we appreciate your efforts and we're grateful for it. So thank you very much. So that brings us to the Bullying Prevention and Intervention Task Force.
So I know this is actually one of the goals established by the school committee this year.
Correct.
So the district is going to be setting up a team to review and revise the current bullying prevention intervention plan. The team is going to consist of students, teachers, parents, and administrators. We'll be meeting throughout the spring with the goal of presenting a revised plan to the school committee by the end of the year in June. This group will be an advisory group formed by the superintendent to assist in the revision of the plan. We've already established some meeting dates. The planned meeting dates are Tuesdays, you can see in your background notes, Tuesday, February 27th, Tuesday, March 26th, Tuesday, April 30th, Tuesday, May 14th, and I think we're projecting 6 o'clock as a meeting time. So we'd love to have a member of the school committee join the group. So I don't know if the members would like to discuss that, decide who would like to represent. And historically, at least one member of the school committee has been a member of the Bullying Prevention and Intervention Task Force, because we are required to regularly update the plan. I believe our last revision was in 2019.
Crazy that was 4 years ago. I was the rep 4 years ago. I can't believe it was 4 years ago already. Is there anyone that's interested in doing that?
I wouldn't mind at all. Or Kelly, either. I'm fine. I feel like it's a continuation of the student advisory board, but I also feel like you have a hand, like a stake in it because of your daughter.
I think either or would be fine.
Yeah, I think either of you would be great.
And and honestly, it does kind of tie into the student advisory committee as well. So yes, that might be a good segue for you. It's up to you.
I don't mind stepping in that role at all.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then I'll make a motion. I move that that Katie Sullivan participate as a member of the Bullying Prevention and Intervention Task Force.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, Katie. It was great being a part of that. It was very informative. So I look forward to hearing updates. And
Yes, absolutely.
so thank you very much for adding that to your schedule.
Katie, you'll be getting a formal invitation from me.
Formal
we actually have a meeting next week we've been reaching out to some staff and family and members of the community to join the committee. And then once we finalize who, we're going to put together a letter and formally invite people to join. So you'll receive a letter formally inviting you to join.
Awesome.
Excellent. Okay, so
Register for any Tuesday classes.
right? If you do, just let us know.
Yeah.
That brings us to the Town Administrator Screening Committee appointment.
So Carver's Town Administrators, Robert Fennessy has notified the Select Board of his intention to resign, really retire again, go back to retirement. The Select Board is in the process of putting together a screening committee for the next Town Administrator. The bylaws call for bylaws require a representative from the school committee. The board is hopeful the full screening committee will be decided upon their meeting on December 19th, so that the process can move forward promptly. So they're looking for us to get a representative over to them so they can start moving forward. So we need to take a vote to appoint a member from the school committee to the Town Administrative Screening Committee.
Okay. I don't know how anyone else feels.
Getting used to it.
Yeah, but I feel very strongly about representing us on that committee, especially where, I've held 3 different positions in Carver Town Hall, as well as being on the school committee for 7 years over the last 18 years I've lived here. And we have some work ahead of us after getting a town administrator. So I personally have lots of questions and would just love to be able to do that. But if there's someone else that's interested, by all means, speak up.
All you. You'd be perfect for it. All right, then I'm going to propose a motion. I move to appoint Stephanie Clarity to the Town Administrator Screening Committee.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I promise I will do my utmost best to represent the committee and our district, and we'll make sure that they know how vested we all are in the education of our students in Carver. So thank you for that. I will keep everyone updated as things progress, and we can just put it on our agenda as I have many updates to share.
And I will.
You'll also be on the committee, correct? Or not?
No, just to represent
me?
the school committee. Yep.
Okay.
So I will notify Elaine Weston tomorrow that the school committee still has selected you and get you on the list for communications.
Yes, I was asked to do this as soon as possible because they're very anxious to get started. So
It's going to take a while.
it is going to take a while, but it will be time well invested. So that brings us to the Reed's vote to approve new members.
So 2 school districts have asked to join the Reed's Collaborative, Brockton and Whitman-Hanson. In November, the Board of Directors, which is really the superintendents from the current member districts, voted to support the addition of the districts. It was a unanimous vote of those present. So the entire board was not present, but it was a unanimous vote of the board members who were present. I had a conflict that day, so I was not present. So I did not vote at the board meeting in favor of this, but I do support it. If I was there, I would have voted in support of this. And my rationale is that allowing these districts to join will help ensure the collaborative has a stable enrollment and supports its programming. So both Brockton and Whitman-Hanson currently use the collaborative. And the reason why they want to join as members is a different tuition rate. So if you're a member district, you pay a lower tuition rate than if you're a non-member district. So you could say, well, now we have people who are sending people to Reed's already, who now are going to pay a lower price, and is that going to cost the collaborative money? And my counter to that is that I think by bringing them on as members and they're interested in being members, is they're going to focus and have even more students attend the collaborative, and they're going to support in terms of the growth of the enrollment. So as I said, this was supported unanimously by the members who were present, and I also support this. So I would recommend the school committee vote to support Brockton Women Hanson joining the collaborative. A school committee vote is required for them to be able to join the collaborative. It requires a 2/3 vote of all member school committees. So each school committee is taking this vote over the next month, and 2/3 need to approve. I don't know if you remember last year, I actually brought forward to the school committee to approve changing their bylaws.
Yes.
Because the previous bylaws said it required a unanimous vote of all school committees. And their concern was that it's hard to get a unanimous vote for anything. And honestly, the bylaw change, part of the bylaw change was there was a view on the horizon that there were districts that were interested in joining the collaborative. And they were concerned that as those districts moved forward and displayed and showed their interest, that they would have to meet this hurdle of having all school committees approve it. So last year, the committee agreed to a change to the bylaw to say it's just a requirement of 2/3 of the school committees to approve the addition of Brockton and Women Hanson. In your background, you actually have the acceptance language, which you don't have to vote exactly there. I did put a proposed motion in the background, so I'll take any questions, but I would recommend allowing Brockton and Women Hanson to join.
Great. I move to approve the admittance of the Brockton Public School District and the Whitman Hanson Public School District as new members of the Reads Collaborative effective July 1st, 2024.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. So signed. Okay, so that brings us to one of my favorite things to always approve and discuss, field trips.
And so we just have one field trip before you this evening, grades 8 through 12, chorus trip to Six Flags in May. I would certainly support this trip. The chorus usually goes out there, participates in a competition, and then it then goes to Six Flags in the afternoon and evening.
I move to approve the grades 8 through 12 chorus field trip to Six Flags in May.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is great. Oh, no, that's not me. I'm down there. Whoopsies. I'm going to make sure I sign in the right place. Okay, so both of those forms are all set. So I'm going to give to Gina. Okay, and that brings us to reports from the school committee, which is our last one of the year. Woo! Does anyone have anything they would like to say?
Yeah, I do, actually.
All right, by all means, Kelly.
We've had an exciting fall here in Carver, I have to say. And one of the things, it was great to have the football team here. They played an absolutely amazing season. They should be super proud of themselves. I know the community's super proud of them, but I think more importantly than playing a great season of football, one of the things that they accomplished that we haven't seen in a very long time is bringing this community together. And we have amazing kids that are doing incredible things in our schools, and I would really love to see that momentum of the town, togetherness in the sense of community, to be carried forward through all of our sports programs, for all of the allied arts, for the plays. I mean, Matilda was amazing. They did an excellent job. I really enjoyed it. My daughter really enjoyed it. I thought it was probably one of the best performances I've seen here at Carver. And I think we really, should band together and get community involvement as much as we can in any of the activities that our students are participating in. So as Scott presented earlier, we have a bunch of upcoming events with chorus and band, both at the middle high school and the elementary school. I really hope people come out and join us. Again, I personally feel that it was an incredible accomplishment that this team was so able to bring so much support and so much community togetherness. Super proud of them, super proud of all the accomplishments they made, the records and everything else, and just want to see that continue and go forward. So that's it for me.
Great.
Oh, and have a great break, everybody. Thank you. And honestly, I know how difficult this time of year is because it's already that difficult in my home, so good luck.
I would just say that, again, much like our last meeting, I am thinking of the teachers and the students over the next 2 weeks. I am with you emotionally, and like I'm in the trenches with you, and so I hope that you are able to enjoy the next 2 weeks of school rather than be stressed out by it.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
It's just so exciting. Emotions are so elevated.
I'm sure. Anyone else? Colleen or Jackie?
I'll just say I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. I completely agree with what Kelly said, and the way she said it was very eloquent. It was perfect. So it's exactly what my heart is on it too. It's just amazing how this whole town has come together and enjoy everything that we do. Please come out and support us.
Right?
Oh,
Thank
and
you.
also happy Hanukkah.
Yes, right. Happy Hanukkah.
We're in the midst of it. And all the holidays,
right?
but we're in the midst of Hanukkah right now.
Yep. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, which is crazy to think that the next time we're together as a committee will be 2024. I'm personally thankful for 2023 to be sunsetting. Looking forward to the new year, and we really truly have so many wonderful things to be thankful for in our district. I'm so thankful for our continued increasing social media presence, the posts on our website, class tag, pushing information out to families, and really sharing all of the wonderful things that our students are accomplishing and opportunities for families to come support their students. So I would continue in the spirit of everyone else to encourage people in our community to please come and support the kids, whether it's for a band concert or a chorus concert or the National Honor Society induction ceremonies that we have coming up. The kids really appreciate seeing people in the audience. We actually have a few members of the cast from Matilda here in the back of the auditorium that I was waving to earlier, and I know that they appreciate seeing many faces in the auditorium. So I hope that we can all keep that moving forward, because our students really do accomplish great things every day, and I'm so proud of the effort that everyone puts into their academics and their extracurriculars. And being an athlete, it takes an incredible amount of work to maintain that level of commitment. And I'm very grateful for the support team that our students have. Bonus block sounds absolutely amazing. I love that the kids are given some time to get some of their social skills back. I think that will be really helpful coming out of the time that they lost during the pandemic. I'm so thankful that the team was creative and came up with that, so that teachers can also get the support that they need. It's really wonderful. Something else to be very proud of. I have the new incoming president of the Massachusetts Association of School Committees is having the presidential retreat in January, so I'm going to be going out to Holyoke to meet with the new board of directors. We had some new members come on, so I'm very much looking forward to that, and I will bring back, I'm sure, some good information to share. It's always a great opportunity to hear what other district successes are, and I am so proud and very excited to share so many of the amazing accomplishments that we have here between the elementary school and the middle high school that I also get to share. So I'm very much looking forward to sharing some of our students and our staff accomplishments. So thank you, everyone. Everyone, please stay safe. Have a wonderful holiday season. And if someone would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Sure. I move that we adjourn the December 11th, 2023 open session of the Carver School Committee.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
At 8:39 p.m., the December 11th, 2023 meeting of the school committee of Carver is closed. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you in January.